What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about the way that Golden State Warriors handled Kevin Durant's injury. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Nobody up here is a doctor. We listen to the Golden State Warriors. They say they were 100% assured that there was no Achilles involvement with the initial injury, that it was strictly the calf injury. We've also heard, I know that I've heard from doctors who've said 30, 35, 40 years, they've never seen a calf injury turn into an Achilles injury. So it's two completely separate things right there. That's what they say. Now, unless somebody here has a quote from a doctor telling me otherwise, I think we have a responsibility to be very, very careful about sitting there and saying, how do you not know that the Achilles is going to rupture when you had the calf injury? Because that's basically saying that when you go that far, and I'm not saying you did that, but what I'm saying is when you go that far, what you're saying is they knew the possibility existed that the man could rupture his Achilles and didn't give a damn. Maybe that's so in some people's eyes. I'm not willing to go there. I'm not willing to go there. I know Bob Myers. I know Joe Lake.
So I somewhat agree with Stephen A. Smith there. As far as I think probably during the Houston Rockets series when Kevin Durant first got hurt, maybe it was, primarily just his calf that hurt. Maybe his Achilles might have been mixed in there, but that might not have been a serious issue. So I think maybe they just reported it as being his calf. And as far as Kevin Durant playing, I don't think he would play unless he felt safe and comfortable playing. I don't think anybody or the team could push him into playing if he didn't want to play. Because like I said before, you don't think that Kevin Durant's agent, his mom, his family members, and his friends are telling him, like, look, man, if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel like you're still injured or too hurt to go out there and play, don't do it. Because if you rupture or do anything extra more to your Achilles tendon, that could mean your career. That could mean, you lose out on money for contracts. That means your career can be cut in half. All types of things that can lead to bad things in your career if you get hurt even more. So if you don't feel like you can do it, don't do it. And as far as the team, sure, the team's probably going to maybe push him a little bit more than they should have. But because obviously they have, they're invested in him. They want to win. But to the point that I don't think they were pressuring Kevin Durant that you need to come back, even if you feel good or not. I don't think it was like that. And the final thing, I think that Kevin Durant was okay and it wasn't his Achilles, like the team said, is when just before they came out in Game 5, he was breakdancing. He was breakdancing in a tunnel in a circle with his teammates. And he was breakdancing in a way that let me know that it can't be his Achilles. It couldn't have been his Achilles. Because if you have an Achilles injury and you decide to play, you're going to be preserving yourself as much as possible until you get on that court. And you darn sure aren't going to be breakdancing just before the game the way that Kevin Durant was doing. So I think he was okay, and it just happened to be bad luck that his Achilles just popped on him in his same leg where he had a bad calf. Now people might think, oh well, you should think that could go wrong if he has a bad calf. Maybe, and the doctors maybe accounted for it, but you wouldn't necessarily go to the Achilles if you have a calf injury. Now, obviously, leg doctors know everything that can go wrong with the leg, but that may not have been such a concern at that point in time because it's only his calf. But I think it was just bad luck. His Achilles just happened to pop on him in the same leg where he was hurt with his calf. And that's just what it is. But I don't think he was out there because he was forced to. So let's keep going.
I know Steve Kerr. And more importantly, I know how highly intelligent Kevin Durant is. And so as a result of that, to me, the most profound statement came this morning on Get Up from Jay Williams, who obviously is tight with KD, right, has spoken with KD, and basically intimated, and you can go back on Get Up, and I would encourage y'all to go online and look at the segment with Jay Williams on Get Up, where he's alluding to KD being basically told he was good to go. So in other words, somewhere along the way, if you're making that proclamation that the wrong information was given to KD, that's an entirely different thing than saying, excuse me, you know what? How could you not know it was an Achilles? There's plenty of doctors that'll tell you one has nothing to do with the other. Whether they're connected or not, they'll tell you the calf is the calf, the Achilles is the Achilles. Don't pair the two. That's what they'll say.
So they may have either misdiagnosed it originally, or else there's a freak accident.
And I'm saying.
So I can kind of see that. Like I said, those doctors, obviously they're doctors, they're leg doctors, they're specialists. They know every muscle, every tendon, every vein, everything that can go wrong with his leg. So when he was diagnosed with his calf, of course, they would probably ask him, does anything else hurt? Do you have tenderness, anything else? Or, are you tingling or anything like pain anywhere else? And you probably said no. And okay, well, it's probably just your calf. We don't necessarily have to worry about your Achilles at this point. But I think it was just bad luck that it just happened to go in the same calf where he had injuries before. And it's just, there's nothing anybody could really do. And like I said, I don't think he was forced to go out there. I think he felt good enough to go out there. And I do not think it was his Achilles. And what indirectly showed it was when Kevin Durant was breakdancing just before they went out. He was breakdancing in a circle with his teammates. And I'm sure you guys can find it on YouTube. But he gave no indication that it was his Achilles. So let's keep going.
To you, it could be, and what I'm saying to you is, I'm going to lead towards a freak accident. Because unless I know there was a misdiagnosis, I'll be damned if I'm going to go on national television and accuse the Golden State Warriors of a misdiagnosis.
Well, let me say this.
I just want to be careful.
I
just want to be careful.
Let me say this
All right.
real quick.
Sure.
That we know, and this is true of the human condition. Incentives are a powerful force on people's behavior. Wait a minute. I don't just mean consciously. I don't just mean this is my best interest, therefore I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I mean in ways people aren't even aware of.
I heard you.
That the Warriors had reason to want him out there.
I got you. I think it's safe to say that when people look first take, they look forward to hearing me. And I shut my mouth for that entire last segment. I ain't say a word. I got a lot to say now. What I'm saying to you is this. I got it. And I get what I'm saying. But again, that's conjecture. We're talking about a situation where arguably the greatest player on the planet Earth is in a hospital bed after having his Achilles surgically repaired, and he's going to be out possibly a year. Absolutely. So now we got to get down to this. Okay, was the risk worth it? That's where I turn to you, Kendrick Perkins.
Okay, so let me talk before Kendrick Perkins gets in there. I would definitely say that it is worth it because they're not just working on a championship, which is hard enough to do. They're working on a three-peat. And some people never get a chance to go through a championship, let alone win one, let alone three-peat. So you kind of have to just go for broke if you have a three-peat. You'd rather try everything you can try and give everything you can for a three-peat, then have to question yourself later. Look, maybe somebody could have played, or maybe we could have done this or that in order to win that three-peat. So if this was just another year where they were just winning a championship and it was no big deal, I would say okay. But this is a three-peat. A three-peat is very, very special. Some teams have never had a three-peat. Some teams have never had won a championship, let alone 3 in a row. So there is incentive to do whatever you can, even if you have to take a little bit of pain to get out there and play for this three-peat. Do I think Kevin Durant was forced? No, I don't. But, I think the emphasis was like, we really need you. And just Kevin himself, he realizes the scope of what's going on. This is a three-peat. You guys have an opportunity to win. So I can see what the incentives are there. Do I think it's forced? No, but I don't know. It's a three-peat. I would probably go all out for a three-peat. I would take a chance with the three-peat, especially that could have Kevin have 3 rings. If he were to get hurt and he can't play anymore, 3 rings is a good amount to make argument for you being a GOAT or, well, it kind of depends. You can't say that because LeBron has 3, but he lost 6. So let me stay with it. That'll be for another video, but let's keep going.
Now I'm going to say to you, no, I'm going.
Okay.
I disagree with you, bro. And I'm going to tell you why I think the risk was worth it. I'm not talking about the Achilles.
Okay.
Because we didn't anticipate that.
Right.
I'm talking about the calf. Let's stick to the calf.
Right.
The calf and that getting re-injured. Here's my point. $30 million now. $31.5 million next year player option. He could, if he sat home and ate a bowl of Crunch Berries and watched General Hospital and Young and the Restless, he get $31.5 million, right?
Right.
We also know that practically every team in the league is going to offer him max dollars, even if he can't play next year because he's that great and he's worth waiting for. So now the question comes into play. Do I put you out there to win a chip? Not a regular season game, because I saw them, our very own Dominique Foxworth, who was also on Get Up this morning, and he said, if it were a regular season game, would you have played them? The answer would be no, so why would you play them in the finals? Because it's the finals!
Exactly. It's the finals, and you're working on a three-peat. If there's any time to take a chance, like I said, if there's any time to take a chance on somebody being hurt and pushing it a little bit further than you would, it's for a three-peat. Not for a championship, but your third championship in a row. That doesn't come across. That doesn't happen very much. The last team to three-peat and win was the Chicago Bulls in '98. And the only team that's gone further than a three-peat was the Boston Celtics, and they eight-peated. They went 8 championships in a row. So when a three-peat comes your way, you're lucky enough to have that, you've got to take full advantage of it. And if you have to push people or push the systems a little bit more than you have to, you got to do it, because you can't leave no stone unturned, or whatever the phrase is. You have to do everything you can do to make sure you have every opportunity to win. And if you have to play him, even if he's hurt, I will probably do it, but I don't think that's the case with Kevin Durant. I don't think that's the case. He played because he wanted to play, and it was not his Achilles. And like I said, what tells on that situation is he was breakdancing just before he went out there, and then it seemed like he was worried about his Achilles heel at all. So let's keep going.
In other words, all I'm saying to you is this, and I'll give it to you after I say this. I'll give it to you after I say this. You're Kevin Durant, LeBron James, all of those guys, that's a different level. Kendrick Perkins has been a storied pro for years. Title in Boston, back-to-back. And listen, Doc Rivers wanted to brag that when the start five is healthy, we never lose. Remember that? You,
Right.
KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo. We all know your credentials. You know, I got to know Kendrick Perkins back then. And it's rough, and I love being loved by rough riders. You know what I'm saying? And Kendrick Perkins was a rough rider. Don't get me started with you and Zach Randolph in the hallways, okay?
Man.
I know this, all right? I know what a rough rider you are. Here's my point. I don't know the Kendrick Perkins that would have been hurt, but could go, even if he was at 70%. And he wasn't going for a title. Okay. Now, regular season, fine. But you got it. You're 3-1 down. And you know that you are going to be the difference, because you believe in Steph. You can believe in Clay.
Right.
And if I'm on the court, we going to smoke these dudes and make history.
I agree.
And at 70%, you cannot tell me you ain't playing.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and listen.
I think he would definitely play. And like I said, a three-peat is very, very special. Some people would say I would just leave it all on the line, even if I was hurt. Because if that's your third ring coming up in a row, you might as well. Because it's not like you're going to be like Charles Barkley and never have a ring. So if you get hurt, you can't play anymore, you don't want to say fine, but you want to do everything. You already have 2 rings. So you're already in an elite club with people that have at least 1 ring. They only have 2. But if you can go for a three-peat, you got to go for broke. It doesn't sound good. You don't want to throw away your career. So hopefully you've made enough money, and obviously you have rings. But something like that, a three-peat is so special, you don't want to have any regrets in thinking about what it could have, should have when it comes to a three-peat. That's why I think you kind of have to go all out. Now, do I think that's the case with Kevin Durant? I do not. For the reasons that I stated earlier, I don't think that's the situation. He was out there because he wanted to be out there. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
I'm not sitting up here. I'm not a doctor, right? But I also played with Kevin Durant in OKC when he had the similar calf strain, right?
Okay.
He had a similar calf strain, and it was an actual calf strain. I'm not questioning, but I'm gonna give you some insight.
Sure, please.
And give a maximum insight.
You would know.
And
you would
the
know.
crowd. Okay. I played 15 years in this league, all right? The doctors, the medical staffs, the coaches, they let the world know what they want you to know. So don't believe everything you hear. That's first thing first. That's real. They will lie.
All right.
They will lie.
Right. But you also just said that
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt before I got just before the video is over. So they will lie, and they could tell. So even if it was his Achilles heel, and they didn't want to say anything, the fact is, what told on Kevin Durant that he was okay, like I said, he was breakdancing just before they went out. And even if it was his Achilles, I think he was fine enough, he was well enough that he could still play, and it shouldn't be a problem, because the way he was breakdancing, just the fact that it's breakdancing period, his Achilles couldn't have been that bad. There's no way, because if you were hurt like that with your Achilles, you would be preserving yourself for as much as possible, and you'd only do any type of movement once you were on the court, and you sure as heck would not be breakdancing. I know I said it before, but I had to reiterate that he was breakdancing just before we went out there, and if you had an Achilles situation, you would not be doing that. So let's keep going.
Was a great medical staff that wouldn't let him play. So guess what? Some of them tell the truth.
What you mean?
In other words, what you just said about OKC. In other words, you were raving about OKC medical. So I'm saying some of them tell the truth.
Because they had what I'm saying is because whether KD was 70%, they had his best interest in heart.